Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are welcome to another episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. With me today, I have Judunwa Okolo from Dublin and Anthony Eze from the United States. Yes, this is our last episode, in the year 2022. We want to usher in 2023 in the next 21 minutes. That is when Nigeria, will welcome the new year 2023. So we'll pause our program in the next 21 minutes to wish our fellow Nigerians a happy and wonderful 2023. Yes, today we will do a recap of what we did in 2022. We did a lot of fantastic shows that I'm proud of. Let me just go to my panelist, Judunwa Okolo from Dublin. How are you today? And do you share the same view as myself? Because I believe we did extremely well in 2022. Over to you, Jude.
Sure, Dr. Kunle. My colleague, Chief Tony, did fantastic. And I believe your anchoring was excellent. And I think you should be proud of yourself. And for my chief in the house, Tony, you are, anyway, I don't know how to describe it, but I think you did marvelous. And for me, I think I tried my best. I think I won't score myself so low, but I tried my best. And I think all we are doing for the passion of our country, Nigeria. And I still believe that next year, because of experience, we are going to do something better next year.
That is wonderful. Tony, over to you.
Yes. I think 2022 was a success story for this platform. In the sense that oftentimes you do praise yourself, but the audience, most of the feedback I got from my listening audience always praise us beyond what the court system will say, beyond all reasonable doubt, that we've done critically well. In fact, oftentimes some of them ask me the question, are you all trained journalists? And I say, well, we are not. We are self-made journalists. And that we always, the passion we have for our country makes us, each time we come up on this platform, the analysis flows naturally because we have been there, we have lived through it, we have people who are there. And as a result, it's always interesting to be on this platform. And I must really thank our regular host, Dr. Kunle Lamboye. He behaved like a vista. Chief Jude, all the technical know-how, he brings it up to the platform. We are proud of all of us. We pray with God being on our side and our audience that we're going to perform better in 2023.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Tony. You have said it all. I believe that we did excellently well. And to be honest with you, you see, I always say that, when we come on shows like this, we need someone that will always put us in check. That will always say that thing when we are a little bit derailing. I will say, listen, all these things, they are allegations unless proven otherwise. That is the popular saying of Tony, which I think is always, because to be honest with you, you see, when you say it, that thing just, it strikes me in my heart to say, oh, it's true. Oh, it's true. And to be honest with you, it's something that I usually have at the back of my mind, okay, when we begin the show. But then, we get carried away. You see, you get a little bit emotional So, and somebody is going to say, listen, all these things we are saying, they are just mere, I remember, mere allegations. So I must say that we have all done, fantastically well. And I'm proud of everything we did in 2022. And like I said, we are going to recap. So I don't know if I should start the recapping or Jude or Tony is going to comment, or you want us to do it in I do like three episodes, and then Jude then takes it, and Tony just carries on, so that one person will not be talking for too long. So maybe, Jude, do you want to start?
Okay.
The highlight of 2022 for you. Some of the episodes that we discussed. And like Tony said, that maybe there is a follow-up on those stories, we should just try to just comment briefly. We want to keep the show to like an hour. So we have to be mindful of the time. All right. Jude, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Kole. Here I am. It's what we are used to. I expect our audience know what you have done for the past 12 months. It wasn't easy for us, but we are able to go to Nigeria, bring Nigeria to the world. You are in America, you are in Canada, Tony is in America, I am in Europe, in Dublin, and we are able to put a satellite on Nigeria and be able to fish out things happening in Nigeria better than those who are living in Nigeria, in the fact that when we even come out telling people that what happened, they think we're in Nigeria. I have people that tell us, we don't know what you're saying, but we are here. How come you guys know it? Well, it's a passion which we develop for our country. It's a passion because we want our country to be in order. It's a place where we come from, and we know that it's our home. No matter where we are, we go back there. And even though we have children all over the world, we know that their root is Nigeria. That's why we have that passion to magnate the country and try to bring out the good things and see how we can make the country better. So I start by saying that the first episode, which I'm going to put on, where is we discussed, the first one was discussion about how political, what do you call it? Migrants, decamping from one party to other.
Yeah.
We talk about the camp of the APC, PDP, decamping. What's his name? Someone can help me there. The first one we discussed.
Yeah, you mean
Umahi, who decamped from PDP.
Okay, Governor Umahi.
Governor Dave Umahi.
I think of Ebonyi State, who decamped
from PDP to APC.
Yes.
Yeah. And we talk about how the APC, the PDP, was able to strip him of his governorship because his nomination was based on the umbrella of PDP. And as such, if you are a governor of a state and you feel you can just jump from one party to other because you want to aspire for a higher office, you can just do it your way. But the party is telling you that we are the one that brought you here. According to the Constitution, you are acting based on our platform. And if you want to leave our party alone. We are going to sack you and replace you. So that was what we first talked about. And we see.
Well, we know that a follow-up to that story is that on October 28, 2022, the appeal court reversed the sacking of the governor, Umahi. So the story, even though he was sacked because he decamped, but the aftermath of it was that that was a toothless effort by the legislature in the state, because yes, they got him sacked, they got him impeached or whatever, but then the appeal court reversed the decision. So
Good.
you can go ahead.
Based on the law, yeah, that's good. And I don't know what happened to the 16 others that they camped with him, but I think the court has taken its course. And we still talked, a follow up to that, we talk about the ASU Education Minister Adamu walkout on students. That was all in that package of that day. We were trying to renegotiate with the students about 2009 agreement based on services, welfare, and salaries of the
ASU members.
Yeah, of the education of the, what do you call them? The ASU, yeah. So we talk about that, and we found out that we scrutinized the minister why he walked out of the students, and we found out that the meeting could not hold, and the minister actually played some arrogant behavior by not displaying his maturity and his professionalism in dealing with the students. We talked about that, and in it, I think Dr. Kule came offline. It was like we're looking for Dr. Kule, but at the end of the day, he came back and we continued analyzing the issue. Apart from that, we continue again. We talk about the Nigerian trust deficit on the next program. How is this going to blame for Nigerian trust deficit? When we talk about trust deficit, we're talking about, do you blame the citizens for acting in a different manner? So we talked about that, and we see that we now concluded that the citizens have to learn from the people in power, that our people who are in place in power, the people who are in government, should give an example, should lead
by example.
By example, so that the citizenry will follow up, and we discuss about that. And Tony said we have to go to the basis and amend our constitution. And you cited, Dr. Nkule cited about the bricklayers and other workers. They have to lead example so that, when they give an example, others can follow. Tony said that the system does not punish offenders. Citing what happens, he cited what happens in America, that, for example, for you to lead by example, there should be a law placed whereby when you break a law, the law will take its course. And Tony was telling us that if we go to America, how it's been done, it's hard to break the law because the law must take its course. And as such, it should be applied in Nigeria so that the trust deficit Nigerians are lacking will be upheld. We went through that, and we were able to come out and say, yeah, the leaders are failing Nigerians, and they have to lead by example. So many things were cited, and we concluded by that. And we go on to the next topic where we said,
maybe let me chip in here.
Go
yes. The Nigeria's trust deficit. You see, you are very correct. We majorly, pinpointed the fact that, the citizens, are not trusting of the Nigerian leaders, and as a result, they are lacking. Many of them are lacking in patriotism. Okay, and because they don't have anybody to emulate, because we see the politicians and our leaders, believing that they are above the law, stealing from left, right, and center. And as a result, the Nigerian populace, the Nigerian people, you see, are kind of detached, from the country. So those are the things we spoke about. Let me just chip in a few of the topics that resonated with me as well. We spoke about, if you remember, the destruction of 1 million expired doses of AstraZeneca in Nigeria because they were shipped to Nigeria, and that was where Nigeria was short of COVID-19 vaccines. But to the shock of many Nigerians, we realized that it was in the news. Government, the NDLEA, just brought out these 1 million doses and burnt them. You see, we blamed Nigeria, the Nigerian officials, we did all that, but we now realize that you see, those vaccines, okay, were almost expired before they were shipped to Nigeria. I know that logistics, the distribution logistics actually affected Nigeria from immediately distributing them. So as a result, the vaccine got expired, and they were burnt. We also, delved, the religious aspect, the tithing. We spoke at length. If you remember, we actually brought in a pastor, Pastor Patrick Ada, a Ghanaian, a deputy, an assistant pastor of one of the churches in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, who spoke to us about tithing. And a commenting consensus was that you see, tithing is optional. You see, it's not by force. Okay, that the Bible does not stipulate that tithing, should be a must. But a couple of us said that as a Christian, that we believe in tithing, of course, and we spoke about how these mega churches can actually help people, the common people in their churches who are suffering, from the church should be able to help them from the proceeds of this tithing, and that as the Catholic, the Anglicans, you see, as they used to do, building schools, contributing to the social development of the environment, you see, they find themselves that the mega churches should also be doing the same. We also spoke about the Tinubu, and I must say, the tithing episode actually got us one of the most views. It was one of the most viewed episodes because it actually, attracted over 8,000 views. And we also spoke about the Tinubu's presidential declaration. It was a hot news that day because finally, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually, declared his intention to run in the 2023 presidential election. And why it was a bit it attracted a lot of interest was because of the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, who was also contesting. So it was like, what will now happen between the former boss and the pupil, So the Tinubu episode actually, attracted that was the most viewed episode, 10,000 views. And if you remember, we actually played videos of Abdul Mumini, who was the chairman of Tinubu's presidential campaign then, you see, who actually said that Osinbajo should go and sit down, that is not his turn now, blah, blah, blah. And this man was actually the president of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidential campaign committee. And he ended up resigning, the campaign, even though it was not explicitly said that he decamped to PDP. But the fact was, he dumped the party, and I think he went to PDP. You see, and that has actually fueled the rumor that, it seems the northern oligarchy are actually, you see, galvanizing the northern cabal, the northern people to support, Atiku Abubakar. So let me stop at this, okay, and give the floor to Tony to just recap on some of the topics that actually, got him or attracted most of his interest, in 2022. So over to you, Tony.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kunle. Not only to me, but an average Nigerian Uh, the thing that attracted the attention most is the episodes that discuss the unofficial devaluation of the naira.
Wow. Yeah.
Because in any country where a national currency does not have enough strength,
Hmm.
it's like a calamity. It's in 2022, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, that you need to pay up to 700 and above to get a dollar.
Hmm.
It has never happened in Nigeria. And once you unofficially devalue your currency, it affects everyday activity in the country. And it brought a lot of hardship in terms of products, pricing, services. People were really crying out. Inflation was on the rooftop. So we deliberated on that.
Hold on, Tony. Let's wish Nigerians a happy new year, happy 2023.
Oh, they've already entered.
Yes, it's 12 midnight in Nigeria
Okay.
right
Wow.
now. So,
Happy
happy new year, Nigerians.
Happy New Year.
New Year,
New
Nigeria.
year. We pray that 2023 will bring forth good tidings. You know,
Amen.
the help
Happy New Year to all
we need
Nigeria.
in Nigeria to get us
Amen.
to a higher level and
Amen.
to help us to recover
Yeah.
from this problem, the quagmire that we find ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
We wish them Happy New Year.
New Year. Happy New Year, Nigerians.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So Happy New Year,
So
Nigerians.
let us toast to a
Yeah,
good
that's
year.
true.
Let's
Yeah.
toast to a good year.
Happy New
I beg,
Year.
Happy New
I beg,
Year. Happy
I
New
beg,
Year.
don't toast with your this, you know. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Nigerians. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
So back to my recap. The value of Naira really suffered a devastating blow in 2022. You find out that both the building material, all materials and services were badly affected. And then the government of the day made some attempts, which to date, I don't think he has yielded the maximum expected dividend. They kind of felt that there is so much unaccounted counterfeit currencies in circulation. It's like they could not really own up the production of some of the money going into circulation. Added to the trick of the political elite who were dealing with the dollar and the naira just to make sure they have enough to distribute during the electoral campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things really messed up the naira. They went to print kind of to redesign the naira notes so that those probably who are hoarding the currency will be forced to bring it out. And as of today, from inquiries I made back home, these efforts and subsequent government regulation, where people are reduced and stand to be corrected to 20,000 naira
Mm-hmm.
per withdrawal.
Wow.
A lot of Nigerians in diaspora that traveled home found it difficult to have naira in circulation because Nigerians were not able to withdraw money. Now, some even quoted as saying that the quality of the redesigned naira notes are not of international standard.
Wow.
They were showing in some social media where if you kind of soak probably some tissue and use it to rub on those naira notes, they bring in some colors. So government try to do what they think is necessary. Did this solve the problem? No. So it might continue to be a problem in the incoming year. So we encourage government to do what it takes in the coming year to stabilize the naira, because a weak naira is a weak government.
Yes.
And then we believe that we know the government of the day is about to expire. That's why we need those who want to vote to look for people who have the capacity, who have experience, who have track record to come in and save us from the downfalling of the naira. Now we touched on issue of terrorism. The foreign government did a yeoman job in 2022 because we've been calling out for help. We could not help ourselves. And therefore, some government like the United States and some other governments were able to give the Nigerian authority heads up on the presence of those who are organizing themselves terrorists to make sure that the incoming election does not hold, especially in Abuja. That helped a lot. And then the Nigerian government feeling that, well, since we have been exposed, if we don't take action, the international community may really not want to do business with us. And then this foreign government made their threat effective by withdrawing their national in some of their embassies to tell them that they mean business. And interestingly, the Nigerian government had no alternative than to they sent some security operatives in Abuja, and a lot of these criminals were able to be manhandled. Well, the problem with Nigerian cases is one thing to arrest criminals. The next thing, did you try them? If you try them, which jail are they in now? That is left to them to prove to the Nigerian that they did their job. Now, another very, very troubling issue is oil theft, which was almost proved beyond all reasonable doubt, not just allegation. Somebody who had been in government, who were involved in where the foreign lawyers were able to bring out typical information, and they helped to go to the United States Statistical Department to find out the oil that the NNPC claimed to have been exported. And they discovered that there were no records for that. Now, the records were made public. One of the former honorable member of the reps were on in one of the national private televisions and put the records on the screen. But Nigerian factor is that if you don't belong to the bar, bring whatever wonderful evidence you have. It's always followed by silence. Till now that we are talking,
doesn't have any impact.
Yes, it doesn't have any impact because if you want to go to the wire to find out those who are involved, and you discover they are in government, no normal human being want to prosecute himself. So, but we hope that incoming government will be able to do a good job. I don't know whether I will stop here so that somebody can
Yes. Let's give the floor to Jude to
Okay.
continue his recap of notable
events,
episodes that we had in 2022. So, Tony, over to you.
Jude, yeah. Thank you.
I mean, Jude, sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Kule. You see, I think we have covered we had over 50 episodes last year, this year.
Yes.
I'll call it last year because we were prompt, we were direct, and we stressed ourselves to go through that because Nigeria was actually in a mess and we have no option than to cry out. One of the episodes I can remember was, I remember the one we were talking about when Elomelu, the
UBA chairman.
Yeah, the
standard UBA or standard
UBA chairman. Yeah, was telling citizens to be to hold the leaders accountable for the poor state of the economy. When it comes to the point that people were crying and probably he had members, home family members that were asking for money, so he has to cry out to tell we are the state we are now. You citizens have to hold the leaders accountable.
Yeah.
Just like Tony have said in his recap, we have seen that all we have said for 1 year, we have not seen any results from that. We are still seeing chaos in the country. We are still seeing anarchy. We are still seeing people hungry. and we don't know what to do. Sometimes we look at it. We are not being paid for this. We are here to cry out so that our country will be better. Sometimes we think, are we going to stop doing this? What are we gaining from this? You know, it's alarming. We are trying to help to see we are putting ourselves at risk. We don't even know when we come back to the country whether we're going to be picked up at the airport. But we are still risking our life trying to portray what is going wrong in Nigeria just for the interest of that country. And you can see he figured out that one of the richest men in Nigeria, Tony Elumelu, cried out that citizens of Nigeria should hold the country, their leaders accountable. Now we are approaching the next election. Are we ready to act as citizens to put in the right person to be there? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Because we are playing our role, brothers. We are doing our job by taking our time to cry out to the masses and even calling people by name. People in authority, we call them by name. I knew many times I would have been like grabbed one day so that I walk on the streets of Europe. I don't know, maybe somebody's chasing me because of what I've said, but I keep on saying it. That's the point we are talking here. That's one of them. Elumelu cried out and said, we citizens should hold the leaders accountable. Next year, election is coming up. Are we going to act based on the power we have now to put the right person in? That's the question. The second one I can remember again, one of our recap, through this recap, is we saw Kuti, Fela's son, Femi, cried out on social media about how Dangote acquired paid 20% stake for $2.8 billion to NNPC to acquire some, and he said, how can Dangote pay 20% for this amount for $2.8 billion, whereby Holy Frontier in America acquired the whole assets for that same amount? That it is a fraud. We deliberated on it and we shouted out. Guys, you remember that video? You remember that?
Yes.
It was actually alarming in Nigeria that how can the government allow him to pay 20% for
to get 20%?
Yeah.
For
that amount of money for 20%.
Yes. How can the government pay that amount of money for 20% that Holy Frontier used to get
the whole total amount for that amount of this? It was a fraud to our country. So we have gone to that extent and we shouted out here and said, look, we have to investigate this. And what has been done about it? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Like Tony said, we cry out, but we don't see results. Dr. Kule, let me give you a chance again for some recaps.
Yeah, thank you so much. We spoke about the frequent military coups in Africa. We spoke about the coup that happened in Burkina Faso, the coup that happened in Guinea-Bissau, and in Sudan. We spoke about why we are seeing this frequent military coup, because even in Burkina Faso, a military coup, happened in January 2022, and they had another coup in September of 2022. That raised a serious alarm. And we know that after our program, there has been 2 other coups, one in Sao Tome and the Gambia. There was a coup attempt. The coup d'etat attempt that was foiled, and there was another one as well. An attempt in Sao Tome and Principe, which was a coup d'etat that was foiled as well. So we know that there is serious instability in governance in Africa, and we just want our African leaders to stop this coup bloodshed every time, everywhere. Let us have a democratized Africa. Let the citizenry, play a role in electing their leaders in Africa. Enough of the military coup. Enough of coming to power through the through guns, through all these nonsensical methods that are undemocratic in nature. So we also spoke about, this was one of our best topics, I must say, which was us, talking about how to make money on social media. And that actually attracted a lot of views. In fact, it attracted a lot of views. And most especially, we use Davido as our point of contact in this sense, because and the musicians actually, and we trained people. I remember Tony and Jude, you suggested the talent that people can showcase on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we actually enlightened Nigerians. You see, the different platforms, the different social media platforms they can actually, use to showcase their talent, and it all depends on what they are good at. I know that Tony and Jude, you did an extensive analysis of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and all these social media pages, LinkedIn, and that attracted a lot of views. And do not forget the spate of ritual killing, because that was around February, March, April, May of 2022. It was just in the news, left, right, and center. We started seeing kids, people that are still babies, engaging in ritual killing. There was this case in Ogun State that this guy murdered his girlfriend, and killed, cut the girlfriend in pieces. So, and there was another case as well. I think it was in Enugu. This guy that used to work in the Federal Medical Center there was actually attempting to kill, his neighbor's son, but he was caught in the act, all for ritual purposes. So we spoke at length, also, and do not forget the Abayari case, the arrest of Abayari. That guy, that famously arrested this kidnapper, Evans, who famously arrested him. He was arrested and he's still in jail because of his connection with Hush Puppy that has now been sentenced in America. And we know that there was a break into Kuje prison where this guy was kept, and it was made clear that nothing happened to Abayari and a host of other notable prisoners there. So let me leave the floor to Tony. Tony, over to you now.
Yeah. I think I will go straight to the disturbing trend we have at hand, which is the episode we had on global economic recession.
Yeah.
Every country, as I speak, are having different levels of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a shopping mall, what you used to buy with $50, you might be looking towards $150. And we use the program to alert Nigerians that since the chunk of resources, families of people in diaspora receive come from abroad, and that if inflation starts from abroad, it's going to trickle down to Nigeria, and that they should desist from going on luxurious expenditures.
Yes.
That they should look at basic necessities of life, because the money might not be rolling too frequently as before. Because if the giver is suffering from inflationary trend, of course, the receiver will suffer more. And we were able to kind of let them know the various countries, UK, Canada, United States, including China, where inflation has already taken place. And I know some family members got the message right, and that whenever money is sent to them, they always remember that this is real, this is no joke. Now, during the time also, there was the issue of UAE, United
Yeah.
Arab Emirates, denying Nigerians of visas.
Yeah.
Well, from our research on that episode, we were able to really we found out that it was justified for a particular reason. The message was misconstrued by Nigerians because it was not meant for everybody. It was meant for those who come to the country to ferment trouble, and that the country, in order not to look at it as if it's a broad ban on visas, they were able to let families apply visas as a family.
Yeah.
But Nigerians, being smart guys, they will apply for family visas only to arrive there.
They join themselves
uh,
for visa purposes.
yes, and then arrive individually, which oftentimes is good to intervene in some of these foreign news. And we were able to, in a way, blame the country that there was no official message to the Nigerian government
Mm.
uh, of the status quo. That when things happen like that, government on government level should be able to put the situation very clear.
Very clear.
Now, it was equally around that time we celebrated our independence, 62, and both home and in diaspora, there was a consensus that the celebration is not justified
Mm.
because the facts and figure on the ground does not represent any growth. Rather, what we saw was regression. We are moving backward instead of moving forward. So the bone of contention then was, why celebrate? Why not just mark it? Just like people mark their birthday without making noise around. But Nigerian governments, as usual, as well as the outgoing head of state, felt that, well, this is my last chance to be in Asho Rock, so why not celebrate whether we are moving forward or backward? A lot of people, newspaper media and social media, we are almost 100% against celebration because a hungry man
It's
has,
an angry man.
is an angry man, and an angry man, a hungry man, has nothing to celebrate for.
Yeah.
Is it not when you are well fed, or maybe you look back and you see what you have achieved, you'll be able to celebrate? Well, finally, on my recap was the demise of the Queen Elizabeth of England.
Yes.
That brought a
That
lot
was in
of
September 9, 8 or 9.
exactly. That brought a lot of mixed feeling. We must not blame the dead. That was our consensus. The
Yes.
dead has gone. It's only for the living to learn from the mistake of the dead. One notable topical issue then was one Southeasterner, Nigerian Southeasterner by name Professor Ujuanya. Ujuanya, who was grown up enough to experience the evil of the Biafran War,
Yes.
and knowing fully well that the Queen was alive, his government was at the helm of affairs, supplying destructive weapons to the Federal Force of Nigeria, in which about 1 million Biafran were slaughtered, was so much bruised that he preferred to see the demise of the Queen as something that we should come with excruciating pain.
Yes. Which the Queen
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
but the platform, we did not buy that. We know
Yeah.
that people have their own individual opinion. They're entitled to their own opinion. We believe that if you feel you are bruised, the legal system, the international legal system is there to help you out. But we should always respect the dead.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's fantastic, Tony. You did a wonderful job here. Great, great, I must say. Jude, should we go back to you?
All right. Yeah. So I still remember because Tony just caught me there when he talked about the death of Queen Elizabeth, which we all admire, we all adore. And at the end of the day, he has gone. He said, "There's time for everything: time to live and time to die." It's in the Bible, so we don't question her death. Well, but we found out we see this course in our panel here where we lost some members during the terrorism threat in Nigeria. One of the episodes we talk about the death of Osinachi and Chinelu Megafo and the death of Chief Lamidi Adeyemi or the Olafin of Oyo. We paid a tribute to him. He died at the age of 83 years. We all analyzed and see and gave our own tribute to him. And we said that he has done a good job, and we pray that God should give the people of Oyo side a reputable leader that will carry them forward. So, and we still talk about IPOB atrocities in Imo State, whereby we saw how the IPOB was, how the IPOB killed one of the INEC member in Imo State.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about
and also kidnap this military couple.
Yeah.
And they murdered them in broad daylight.
Exactly. We analyzed that and we said that was wrong. We were so bad that we said that if there's anything for the people of Biafra, from the people of the Southeast to be angry with, they should pass it on to the leaders of the Southeast, like the governors, the people in the House, legislators. They should pass it to the government so that they will deal with it there before coming down, rather than killing innocent souls. The anger should be based on the government because they have achieved nothing by killing an individual. We all scrutinized it. We all said that was wrong. We are trying to let them know that the problem is not with individuals. It is people who are in power. There are people in government from the Southeast who are supposed to channel every grievances of their people to the government at the top level. And they should be the one talking for them rather than killing an innocent soul. So we blame them that Biafra will come to pass. But if it's going to come to pass, it's going to come by dialogue, by talking to the right people. People should not take laws into their hands. This is Nigeria. Why killing your fellow citizen just because you're angry? Tony was very furious. He said a lot of things and he won and he advised people, and Kunle supported him. I too supported him that we are going to move forward, not backward. Now we are talking about the election, and the IPOP, I assume they are listening to us. You can see for yourself that the Easterners, Southeasterners are participating in the election going forward. And if the leaders are there participating in the election going forward, why should we take laws into our hand? Why not cooperate and let this thing go through so that we have a space forward to dialogue in future? That's what we are saying there. Don't take laws into your hand. Let us move forward. We are seeing Peter Obi coming out from the Southeast. If you are really interested in the Southeast becoming the president of Nigeria, give him a support.
Yes, vote. Come out and vote.
Vote for him. And when he's there as a president, now you can channel your issue, grievances to him, and he will see how to handle it. That's what we're saying here. And that's the reason why we actually portray that episode for the world to see that, Nigeria belongs to everyone. People are different in so many opinions, but we should not take laws into our hands. That's one of the things we dealt with, and we actually dealt with it, and we got a lot of views on that. And people are calling us and telling us, many calls, even from Russia. We got a call from Russia. He made his own point new, and we as well told him our own point, and we agreed on that circumstances. And things keep on going forward. Life goes by dialogue, not by people's opinion.
Yeah.
And we talk about when federal government talk about how federal government pardons corrupt governors and VP performance in the last 7 years. We started an example of Ghana government performance. We saw one of the episodes we
watched the video of what the Ghanaians have achieved. In a space of limited time.
Exactly. We watched the video in full. And he was proud, the guy speaking was proud to say what they have achieved. And we're not compared to Nigeria. And it's like, what are we doing in Nigeria? Are we moving backward while Gunners are moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
So we dealt with it. We are all not happy with that. And all of a sudden, we talk about Osibanjo, who came to make a speech praising the current
Buhari's regime
that he want to
during
continue.
his declaration.
Yeah, that he want to continue based on his legacy. And we are saying, what have this guy achieved? Look at what Ghana has given us and the background. What they've achieved. Tell us what you've. Why are you doing this, Osibanjo? And Tony, at the same time, was so furious that he said, "Okay, now instead of me supporting Osibanjo, I'm going for Osibanjo."
And that time, Oshibajo was our only hope.
Only hope. And Tony withdrew straight away. That no more for Osibanjo. I'm going for Bola. But Tony was saying that I'm doing this not because Tinubu is the best. Don't forget, the Southeast need to be represented. Tony made it clear. Though I'm saying instead of Osibanjo, I go for Tinubu. But in my own opinion, I think the Southeast should have a shot.
Yes.
So he made it clear to them, which I think we supported him. Dr. Kule supported him. And you can see what's going on now. Even our elderly man, what's his name? Our former president of Yoruba origin, what's his name? Obasanjo is always behind him to become the president of Nigeria.
Yes, Obasanjo is really doing a great job.
Tony didn't make a mistake to say, yeah, the Southeast need a shot. So that was what we are saying, and you can see that not only him alone, the other Yoruba folks that goes want him to become
and the custodian.
Yeah. So we did a good job. Exactly, we did a good job on that. And Dr. Kule, I'll pass over to you, please.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me just quickly.
Yeah,
I will.
Please.
Okay.
Please, Dr. Kule, I don't want to revisit so that for time's sake. Yes. I just want to use this opportunity to let the Igbos know that if P2B loses this election, they should hold themselves responsible because of the attitude. They should go and read Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. Okay? When things fall apart, the center will not hold. P2B comes from a state, Anambra State. P2B is not getting the support from his state. He's not getting from his governor. Even some elders.
Many elders. Many.
Yeah, they are not supporting. But I want the youth, especially the Southeast, to put this old cabal in the Southeast who have been making the country with the rest of the cabal. And each time they think they are speaking for us. They are not speaking for us because they always want to be bride to their cabal from the north, so that they keep on making the petroleum. We need the youth to use their PVC to prove them wrong. Okay, and the Southeast, whether you like to unite or don't unite, this is the time you are being forced to unite. And if you fail to unite after the election, we don't want to hear about the Southeast marginalized, because you guys are marginalizing yourself.
Exactly. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. I think, Tony, you should go a step further to talk about the IPOB. The IPOB threatening.
Thank you.
That there will not be election, and how that is like shooting the Igbos shooting themselves in the foot.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that reminder. It was an omission, because what is happening in the Southeast is that some miscreants are cashing in on the 1999 election, constitution, that does not give power to the state governors to use the state police force to deal with, because every security decision comes from the IG in Abuja.
Inspector General of Police.
Inspector General of Police. So it appeared that some, not all of them, that some good governors in the Southeast are kind of handicapped because they cannot give the Commissioner of Police in their state instruction to control crime sometimes.
Yeah.
Therefore, the Southeast, they should come up to confront this IPOP. The federal government, if they are not in support of this IPOP group, because they need to really mobilize the army, mobilize the police for the Southeast to have election. It is very, very obvious that from the available threats, election may not hold. This is an allegation anyway, may not hold in the Southeast, and that is prima facie a failure for
Yeah.
P2B. Because
Exactly.
if people don't vote in your home base, where do you want to be
How is he
voted
going to win the
in other
Southwest,
in other
North? Yes.
geopolitical zone? So now the youth, this is a challenge. Come out and vote and defend your vote. Forget about the threat of the IPOP. Let the federal government, we are crying out from the Southeast. If you are not in support of this violence, let the police and the army be mobilized, especially in the Southeast, apart from other locations in Nigeria, so that we will have a fair election.
Thanks a lot, Tony. You did a wonderful job there to recap some of the major topics in 2022. Let me just do a rundown, a final rundown of the topics that actually, got my attention in 2022. You remember we brought in a guest, I think a reverend or so, your friend Tony, the Abuja pyramid.
Okay.
And we shared an eyewitness account who gave us an eyewitness opinion of what exactly was happening, in Abuja, because people kept saying, oh, there were no rice pyramids, that they were just structures, blah, blah, blah. And it was revealed that, yes, truly, were rice pyramids. And the government is doing a great job to revolutionize the agricultural sector, the sector in Nigeria. And I remember we spoke to a friend of ours as well, who also shed light on the revolution that the federal government of Nigeria is making on millet, on cassava, on most of these agri products. And we say kudos to the Nigerian government. If you remember, we spoke about racism against people of color in Ukraine. Ukraine-Russian war, when that broke, and we see how Poland was turning away the black people from escaping war in Ukraine. They were accepting the Ukrainians, the white Ukrainians, but they turned a blind eye. In fact, they were pushing, kicking, beating people of color. And we strictly condemned it, along with many, many international communities. I think, yes, those are the topics that actually resonated with me in 2022. If we can just have a final recap from Tony, then we call it a day. Tony, if you have any other recaps,
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kunle. I will implore our listeners and viewers. We will need your feedback. We're giving you a recap. You are the listener and viewers. You are the best judge we have. And we appreciate your feedback to commend us on where we have done well, where we need some changes, what kind of other dimension you want us to bring in the incoming year, which is a couple of hours. Okay, it's already with Nigeria. They're already in 2023. We are trying to get involved in 2023. We appreciate you guys because it is your strength that move us on. If you don't appreciate us, we would have been feeling that we are wasting our time and we would have stopped the program. but your comment give us enormous strength, and we promise we will do our best next year.
Thank you so much, Tony. Jude, do you have a final word?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to just look at Nigeria and look at the man. I can say this man has impressed me in Nigeria last year. And when I look around, I see River State Governor Wike.
Governor Wike.
Yeah, the reason why I'm putting Wike is not that he's doing a show. It's just like, in spite of what is going on, he's busy commissioning projects. Every week is online, is everywhere commissioning projects, and he's giving us figures what he has done, and he's telling people to oppose him. He's out, with the job, and he's ready for an opposition to tell him that he has made a mistake. And I think we should expect this in next year, that we need people like that who can move Nigeria forward. Apparently, Wike has not any, there's no seat is trying to go for, aspiring for this next year election. But I think that people can emulate what he has done. He is fearless. He doesn't think who you are. He comes out and say whatever he wants to say because he's a man of reputable character. And I think if you have people like that in every office in Nigeria, I think 2023 will actually be good for Nigerians. I'm not from River State, but I've gone around Nigeria to see who has done better this year for me in Nigeria, and I choose Governor Wike as a man that I can, I don't usually like him, but I have analyzed him and I see that, well, it's not a man you can just play out with. He's just there to satisfy his office, to make sure he's done the best job, and he's trying to say, when I leave office, help me accountable, come into action, come into any office, I will appear and defend myself. That's what I'm saying. We need people like that next year. This year.
Thanks a lot. And I remember that it was Dr. Wike that shed light on Sule Lamido and his exploit in Jigawa State, whereby the Lamido family, is controlling the political space of the PDP. The father is contesting for the senatorial, the son is contesting for the gubernatorial, and the daughter is contesting for the House of Rep. It became a family show in Jigawa. It was Dr. Wike that actually broke the news. You see, and he even said that how can a primary school holder, a person with primary school certificate, ended up becoming the foreign affairs minister or foreign affairs. Can you imagine? He will be dealing with the likes of Hillary Clinton, the likes of, that, can you imagine that? So it's just a shame, as to what we see happening in Nigeria. So as all of us said, we wish the country well, and I hope that 2023 will be a return to normalcy, a return of good tidings, a return of unprecedented blessing to that country. We want Nigeria to succeed. And Jude said something before he started. He said that we are not getting paid, and yet we keep risking our lives. Okay, we keep coming forward to speak truth to power. Who knows when we arrive Nigeria? Who knows the people we may have offended? Who knows that whether we might be picked up? You see, why just stepping down from the plane? So we just have a passion. We love Nigeria. We know that, we received a couple of criticism from friends and whatever that says, oh, are they in Nigeria? They don't know what they are saying, blah, blah. Yes, we live abroad, but we go to Nigeria. I have a home in Nigeria. In fact, I consider myself living more in Nigeria than abroad. We see exactly what is happening in Nigeria. And I just came back from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I went to Abu Dhabi as well. I could see how they have turned the oil money and making their country into this majestic majestic country that everyone in the whole world, is trying to visit and just have a piece of the apple pie. These people are making stupendous money from the desert. There is something they call the safari desert that people go, people go to experience the desert, the red dawn, and then riding in the desert and whatever. These people have monetized this experience, and I must tell you, it's giving them a lot of money. They use the oil money to create a magnificent, tourism center called Dubai. So I must say that, Nigeria should not be different. Nigeria should use the oil money judiciously. We can be like Dubai. There is no reason. The only difference is that Dubai has good leaders, while Nigeria, we need to improve. That's the only thing I would say. Barring, I don't know, Tony, if you have any other thing you want to say. Jude, if you have any other thing you want to say. Barring any further contribution, I would say that we should call it a day. But the floor is yours if you want to say a last word to our viewers.
I would just say Happy New Year.
Great. Fantastic. What about you, Jude?
Well, I would say this year we are coming. We are here again with them, with everyone this year, and I will actually plead for people that sometimes you can have some break because we are overworking ourselves, and each time we are off time, they should wait for us to come back. We can have some breaks in between.
And they should watch our program.
Make sure that when we are there,
watch our program while we have the break. You can call us.
Yeah.
We want you to be part of our show. So, and I know Jude is wishing Nigerians a Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year.
And I'm also wishing Nigerians a Happy New Year. And Jude, in 14 minutes time, Dublin.
Wow.
Enter the new year, 2023.
Wow.
So let's just wish you a happy and wonderful 2023.
Thank you.
Advance.
Thank you.
So,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
New Year. So we have come to the end of today's show. We want to say a big thank you to Anthony Eze. I would say our uncle on this show. I want to say a happy and wonderful 2023. I know that good things are ahead of you. You and your family, by the special grace of God, you will experience wonderful happenings in 2023.
Amen.
And to our brother, the powerful Juduwa Okolo, the IT guru,
Otumba
Island. I want to say a big congratulations to you for experiencing another year. And I know that, yes, you will come back in full force in 2023. And 2023 will be a year of blessing for you. I know what I'm talking about. That is when God is going to expand you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Your coast beyond your imagination.
Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Kunle. Thank you so much. And we have to bless you.
In Canada, we just want to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Dr. Kunle.
Happy New Year.
Otumba, you are welcome. Thank you so much.
And to Diaspora Global Panel.
Amen.
We did over 50 shows in 2020.
Wonderful.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Next time.
Yes.
Thank you.